Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, then welcome. And if you're a returning viewer, then welcome back. In this video, we're going to be taking a look and doing an unboxing of a product that was sent to me by Reolink. And this is the box that was sent to me by Reolink, and it's the Reolink Duo 3 PoE 180 degree full colour night vision 4K camera. So what we'll do is do an unboxing. I'll show you the facilities on the camera and then we'll go through the specifications. So here we are with the box, and as you can see, it's nicely packaged in the usual blue Reolink boxes, and you get the label on the side, Reolink Duo 3 PoE, and then the item number, and also the barcode with the serial number on it as well. So let's take a look inside the box and see what we get. In the top, we get the usual Be Prepared, Be Reolink, and inside this cardboard wallet, we have the waterproof lid installation guide. We also have the quick start guide with the full setup instructions in various languages. We have a wall mount template for the wall mount bracket. We have the EU declaration, and we have some sticky labels with saying 24-hour video surveillance by Reolink. And we have another statement of compliance and also a little leaflet saying warm tips. So we'll put all those back in there to one side, out of the way. And in the top of the box, we have the polystyrene cover where the envelope sits with all the booklets inside. And then underneath that, we have a Cat 5e cable, which is 1 meter in length, which is not really much used, to be honest. And then we also have a plastic bag, which contains the waterproof connectors where you would thread the Ethernet cable and RJ45 connector through to connect up to the camera. We also have an Allen key, and again, another plastic packet where we have the drywall anchors and then various screws, and also a little key to reset the device. Then under the polystyrene compartment there, we have the wall mount bracket, which has a solid metal backing plate, which you fix to the outside of the wall or under a recess. And then this then clips underneath the top of the bracket and then slots in, and then it screws in from the front. So it's being held by one screw and the also lip in the back of the bracket there. Then this is the arm where the camera sits. So you'd screw the camera using the Allen key for that screw, and then the camera would sit on there where you can turn this to angle it, for example, up and down, so wish, and it can rotate left to right as well. So you could actually mount it flush to a wall, like so, or you could actually mount it this way up under a recess, so under the eaves of your house, for example. So it's a fairly solid bracket. So this is, as I said, solid metal, the bracket that goes onto the wall. And then this is actually plastic, but it is actually quite solid. It does feel like heavy duty plastic. And here is the camera itself. So this reminds me actually of a robot from a film. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of. This is solid. So it's actually solid plastic, heavy duty plastic, and it is actually waterproof. So it's IP67 rated. Now there's two mounting screw holes. Now there's one mounting screw hole there, and there's also one at the opposite side. So you can mount it this way or that way, should you so wish, depending on how you're going to mount the bracket. So there's two lenses. So this has 180 degree vision right from this side to that side. And these lenses are covered over with plastic film. Now on the camera itself, it has a short extension cable. I would say this is about 1/2 meter in length. And on the end, we have a waterproof connector where you can power it by DC power, should you so wish. And I believe it's 3.5 millimeters. And then on the other plug, we have the RJ45 connector to connect it to the Ethernet. And this has got a waterproof cover over it. Obviously you take this off, connect it up, and use these waterproof sleeves in place of that cap so that you can connect the RJ45 and Ethernet cable through this, and then this fixes onto the end there to make it waterproof. So on the camera itself we have, as I said, two lenses. So this has 180-degree coverage from left to right, and it also has a daylight sensor which is in the center there. Then we have the two lenses, of course, which I've just mentioned, and then we also have below this, which you cannot see with the plastic on, but that's an infrared night vision sensor. And also for the lenses, around the lenses we have spotlights, so this will actually illuminate at night to provide the full colour night vision. We also have a microphone which is just actually covered over by the plastic film, but it's actually below the daylight sensor and also the infrared LED, so the microphone is just below this. Then of course we have the mounting bracket which is there, and as I said, there's one the opposite side as well, depending on how you want to install it, whether you want to install it upside down or whichever. Then at the bottom of the device, which I call the bottom, there is the micro SD card slot, and this is accessible by releasing the two small screws either side. And when you take the cover off, the micro SD card slot is underneath, and it's protected on this cover by a rubber seal which sits on the actual cover. And underneath here is also the reset button, which you use this little reset key for. So this would press the reset button, which is recessed under there. Then moving down, as I said, we have the mounting hole, we have the serial number on the device as well, and then at the bottom of the device, or rather the back where the cable inlet is, we have a speaker. So there is a speaker on this as well, so you can have two-way communication with audio on this as well. So that's basically the Reolink Duo 3 full colour night vision 4K 180-degree security camera. So just for the bracket, what you would do is, for example, you would screw the bracket in there, which I'll just do temporarily, and then this would be placed against the wall, and then you would angle the camera at the angle and how you want it mounted. So I'll just put all this to one side, and what we'll do is go through the specifications for this. The image sensors are 1/2.7 inch CMOS sensors. The maximum resolution for this is 7680 by 2160, and that's at 16 megapixels. So this has a 1/2.7 inch CMOS sensor. The maximum resolution for this is 7680 by 2160, and that's at 16 megapixels at 20 frames per second. The lens is an f2.8mm f1.6. The video compression this uses is H.265, so it's an economic video compression, being H.265, so it uses up less storage space than what the H.264 video compression uses. The field of view for this, as I've said, is horizontally it's 180 degrees that way, and vertical it's 55 degrees. The infrared night vision is visible up to 30 meters, and that's with the LEDs, and there's 6 LEDs for night vision on the lenses, and that's auto switching with infrared cut filter. The colour night vision is with the spotlights, and there's 8 spotlights on each lens, and that's with 5 watts at 6500K 560 lumens. The frame rate, so the mainstream frame rate, is between 4 frames per second and up to 20 frames per second, which is the default of 20 frames per second. And also the sub video stream can be 4 frames per second, again up to 20 frames per second, and again the default is 20 frames per second. The code rate for mainstream is 3072 up to 10,240 kilobits per second, and the default is 8192 kilobits per second. For the substream, it's 256 up to 2045 kilobits per second, the default being 1024 kilobits per second. There's, as I've said, two-way audio, and that's with the speaker at the bottom of the device there. It looks quite a large area for the speaker, so it should be hopefully good quality. And as I've said, the microphone is just done in the center here between the two lenses under the plastic film. Obviously you take the plastic film off for the microphone to work properly. The power for this is DC 12 volt 2 amp. That's if you use the power connector there on the device for the DC power. Obviously this is a PoE camera, so you can power it by PoE, so you just connect it to the RJ45 connector there and it will power it by PoE. Should you have the available Reolink NVR, or should you have a switch capable of powering it by PoE. The PoE specification is IEEE 802.3 AF, so that's 48 volt active, so that is actually PoE and not PoE plus. The Ethernet port can support up to 100 megabits per second, and the SD card slot there can support a maximum of 256 gigabytes for the micro SD card. There is a reset button, as I've said, and it's under the cover here for the micro SD card slot. It supports internet browsers for Edge, Chrome, Firefox and Safari, and the operating systems it supports is Windows, macOS, smartphones, iOS and Android. It also supports HTTPS, SSL, TCP/IP, UDP, HTTP, IPv4, UPnP, RTSP, RTMP, ONVIF, and also SMTP, NTP, DHCP, DNS, DDNS, FTP, and P2P. It can have a maximum of 20 users on the application that runs the Reolink camera. It can have a maximum of 20 users in the software that accesses the camera, and that's with one admin and 19 users. And it can have a maximum of 12 simultaneous streams in the software as well, 2 main and 10 substreams. For the smart detection on this, it has motion detection, person detection, vehicle detection, and also animal detection. And the recording modes is normally motion triggered, which is the default setting, and you can also have it as scheduled recording and also 24/7 recording. Obviously if you're using a micro SD card, then I would recommend you have it motion triggered rather than 24/7 recording. Otherwise you're not going to probably get many days of 24/7 recording on the SD card. It also supports time-lapse, and also for smart home compatibility it will actually integrate into Home Assistant, and it also supports Google Assistant too. As I said, it's weatherproof, so it's IP67 rated. So that's it for the Reolink Duo 3 PoE full colour night vision 16 megapixel 180 degrees security camera. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you liked it. Take care and keep a lookout. More videos coming again soon. Bye for now.